Alrighty, so a little impromptu video here. We're in Philadelphia, of all places. We were taking a weekend trip anyway to see some friends. Hi Will, hi Lana. Yeah, Stephanie hit on a raffle for those 700s that just dropped today from Lapstone and Hammer, so we're gonna go pick them up, see some sights. Oh, and I also hit 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I'll probably toss in something for that.
Four to 6 days later.
That's actually a cool shot there. Anyway, we're back in the car. It wasn't really clear what was going on there, but it's been a few days since we're in Philadelphia. We're in New York City now, if you couldn't tell by all the clips that I got. So the reason why we're here is because Stephanie hit on a sneakers pass, like one of those reserve things. Women's Nike Dunk High, white orange blaze, white. She got a women's 9.5 and not a men's 9.5, but it's all good. It happens.
It was like this, go, 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 go.
She was tapping and, you know, it makes sense as long as we got them. So, receipt in hand. And let's check these guys out. Oh man, they're pretty cool.
Sorry.
It's okay, I'm kidding. But they are pretty cool. So they're the Syracuse Dunk Highs. I know the lows that came out around this time last year going for a crazy amount. Doesn't seem like these in men's and women's sizes are too much over retail right now. So if anyone wants a size swap for a women's 9.5 or a men's 8, let me know. I'm looking for a men's 9.5 or 10. You guys know the drill. These Dunk High retros that have been coming out, the leather quality is not nearly as good as the SPs. I'm surprised they didn't make this one an SP just because it's a classic colorway. I mean, looking at it through the camera, it doesn't look too bad, but it does have like a stiffer, more rigid feel. It's definitely not as plush as the SPs that, again, dropped in like 2020, but for what it is, $100 retail, it's not bad. Yeah, these are them. We'll take a better look when we're at home, but for now, we'll go find something to eat. Alrighty, so in less than 24 hours, we sold these things on eBay, which is fitting because, again, they weren't my size, but just showcasing the condition before we ship them off to the authenticator. So they're brand new, never worn. And yeah, hate to see them go, but they'll go to a better home where someone could actually wear them. And then the box, it's a sportswear box in perfect condition here. Receipt in there as well. Yeah, one last look at these things before they head out. When I figured I'd pull out both of these pairs, both Yeezys that I got over the last week or so. You guys may or may not have seen these yet, but I hit on a raffle from End Clothing. And then these ones obviously we got from Lapstone when we were in Philadelphia. To be honest, I have a lot of videos to work on, so this will probably suffice for the review. And so I'm going to go through these real quick, and then I'm going to address some questions, frequently asked questions, and also some submitted questions from Instagram. So these released on March 13th of 2021, had a retail price of $240, which is $60 less than the $300 retail price that 700 V2s were going for a few months back. So I'm not sure why retail prices decreased on the 700 V1s and V2s, but either way, if you could save $60 and get them for retail, sort of a win-win. Throughout the uppers of the shoe is a material mix of this tight knit mesh, as well as some leather overlays throughout. Right here on the striping is a 3M reflective material, so when a spark of light hits it, you'll see it light up. These look eerily similar to a bunch of other 700 V2s, and I think the most notable one are the analogs and the statics. So this pair is the cream colorway, and it's because it has these two little hits of cream. Otherwise, they look like the other 700. You get some gray laces, a gray inner lining with some gray insoles, and underneath that you could see the Boost material, which is encapsulated in this really chunky midsole. Being a so-called dad shoe, I say that in air quotes, is comfort, and you could see the little pods there of the Boost material, as well as this rubber herringbone traction pattern. So sizing's a bit interesting. I went up half a size to a 10, and I find them to fit pretty well. My true shoe size is a 9.5, so that's what I get in most Jordans, New Balances, etc. But with Yeezys, I always go with a 10, and it seems like these 10s are my perfect Yeezy size, so use my advice at your own discretion, but that's what I went with. Really excited on this pair. This is my first pair of 700 V2s. I know you guys are teased by these things, but I think this one is worthy of its own video, so hopefully that one's coming soon. So with the review of these things out of the way, I figured I could address some questions. So as I let the people on Instagram know, if you guys don't follow me over there at Stuff Dylan Likes. A few weeks ago, before I hit 4,000 subscribers, which, by the way, thank you all for watching. Don't want to get too into it or be too corny about it, but if you are a loyal viewer of the channel, or if you just so happen to stumble on by, I appreciate all of you. You know, the channel's continuing to grow. While this is a big milestone, you know, it keeps growing and growing. So our next goal is 5,000, obviously, and who knows, maybe I'll reveal my face for that. But for now, we're doing a Q&A. I got a few questions from a few of you guys that are super loyal and always check out the channel. And then there are also just a bunch of frequently asked questions that I get on the daily in the DMs that I will address as well. So I guess being a sneaker focused channel, we could start with this question from Gabe Cup on Instagram. He asks, what is your favorite sneaker in your collection? And there are actually two of them. This video is literally all over the place. My camera died in the midst of me filming this. It's a few days later now, given the outfit change. You can see I was wearing this yesterday, but pretty much the two sneakers that I like the most, or that are my favorite in my collections, are the Quagmire SB Dunks, which I'm not even gonna bother pulling out. You can check out the video on those to see why I like them so much. And then these random Nike Air Trainer SC 2010s, I believe they're called. So these are a Manny Pacquiao PE. I haven't made a dedicated review on these things just because they're so old. You might have seen them maybe in the collection video, but otherwise they stay pretty low-key in my collection. I only wear them like once or twice a year. If you think back to like 2010, release wasn't that hard to get them. You know, they were kind of a GR despite them being a PE. Again, nothing spectacular about them. I think I just like them a lot in my collection because it was one of those sneakers that I vividly remember from high school. I just always told myself whenever I did get the money for them, I was going to go back and get them, which I ended up doing. Next question comes from a few folks, and they ask, what's the sneaker that started it all, or what's the shoe that got me into this whole sneaker thing? And that dates back to my childhood. I think it was like 2nd or 3rd grade, so maybe like 2004, 2005-ish. I remember my dad buying me 2 pairs of Jordans in like a size 2.5 or 3 youth. I had a black pair and an all-white pair. I forget what the black pair is. Hopefully I could find an image and paste it on there. But the all-white pair was the Jordan TE2 Elite Low. They recently retroed those in like, I want to say 2017 or 2018. And I remember that pair coming in that gray 2005 commemorative box. And that's when I was playing like early rec basketball. And then after that, I just grew up playing a bunch of basketball as a kid. I'd beg my parents for pretty much every basketball sneaker that came out. So I actually pulled out a pair that I was able to find. These are the Adidas Tmac 5. I forget what season Tmac played with these on court. It might have been like 2005, 2006, or 2006, 2007 season, but either way, this is a 4.5 youth, so I think I was like in 5th grade or 4th grade when these came out. And obviously I have the Nike Shox VC5 that you might have seen the video on in the channel. I still have that pair from when I was a kid. I'm trying to think of other pairs that I had. I had a pair of Question Mids in a black and gold colorway, Jordan Mellow 5.5 lows in that white and orange color, and a pair of the Nike Shox MTX, the Sean Marion ones. And there are a few others that I can't remember, but yeah, I think my love of sneakers started from basketball, obviously, and sort of grew from there. Here is another good question, my favorite shoe brand, and I think that answer varies. I think at one point in time, about maybe late 2018 throughout 2019, I'd say New Balance. That was sort of before they had their big moment. Now New Balance is the latest and greatest, at least now in 2020, 2021 era. But given my recent buying habits, I'd definitely say it's Nike. Bunch of Dunks, bunch of Jordan 1s. Nike is definitely the shoe brand that's doing it for me. I think I'm falling into the hype with a lot of this stuff, but that's the whole point of this sneaker stuff. You really buy what you like. And at this point in time, I think Nike is doing it all for me. Speaking of New Balance, I got a question asking what my New Balance Grail is. So I realize a lot of you guys that are consistent watchers of the channel actually found me through my early New Balance videos, which is super cool. Glad you guys have stuck around, especially since I've switched up a lot of my sneaker buying. But my New Balance Grail, so at least the one in my collection, it's the one of one pair of New Balance 998s. Don't know why I haven't made a video on them because they're super unique and the story on them is pretty cool. Red, white, and mainly navy blue pair of 998s. They came out in like early 2020 from that surplus pack. I'm not gonna go into too much depth. I'll link in the description some articles and some marketing material behind them because they're pretty unique. And we'll leave it at that until I decide to make the video. This one's probably my favorite question. They ask if I regret buying all the sneakers that I've bought. The short answer is yes. I'm just one person and my collection right now as it stands is around like 150 pairs. I'd have to double check in my spreadsheet. Yeah, it's like literally 152 pairs. Bruh. I don't think one person realistically needs that many pairs of sneakers. That said, it's sort of an interesting time because I've been starting to downsize a lot of my collection. I think as I'm growing up, the more I'm realizing that my sneaker purchases need to be more precise and calculated. And what I mean by that is I think that the sneakers that I'm buying and keeping are the ones that I really want. Prior to this point, I've been buying a lot of sneakers because one, I'm able to get a good deal on them. Two, I'm sort of at the right place at the right time on release dates, and like maybe I don't want them but I talk myself into buying them and just sort of keeping them. I mean, if you have like a infinite amount of money, I think habits like that are super cool, but at the same time it's more of like a quality over quantity play for me, at least now in 2021. Not sure if I mentioned it, but I am selling a lot of the collection. I'm selling a lot of my stuff on eBay. I find that to be the best, at least for the sneakers that I know that are worth more than $100, just because they don't take any fees on sneakers over $100. But I'm selling between platforms like Depop and Grail and Poshmark and Mercari. I'll have all my links down below. I also have my Stuff Dylan Sells Instagram page. But yeah, check me out. If you guys are interested in anything I have for sale, hit me in the DMs. This video is probably super long at this point, so I'm gonna wrap up with 2 final questions. The one question I've been getting a lot recently is, how do I get so lucky on every sneaker release? Fact of the matter is, I'm like a normal human being and I don't hit on every sneaker release, shockingly enough. It may seem like it because I have been getting pretty lucky recently, but I strike out just like everyone else. So I think part of why I've been getting lucky a lot on sneaker releases is because I've just been entering a ton of raffles. And it doesn't help too, when I see them, I ping my girlfriend to enter them as well, so it's sort of two times the entries. It is tedious. You do have to follow a bunch of Instagram pages. You need to keep an eye on, release dates and stuff like that, which could be a pain, but truthfully it does pay off. It's sort of, don't pigeonhole yourself to paying resale prices until you've put in the full effort. For me, if there's a sneaker that I really want, I'm gonna put in a bunch of effort to try to get them via raffles, the sneakers app, or really any sort of outlet that I could do. And if I don't hit on anything and I really want the sneaker badly, then I'll pay resale prices. But really exhaust all your resources, enter all these sneaker raffles, follow these Instagram pages, get your mom, your sister, your brother, your uncle, whoever, to download all these apps on their phones, and at some point someone will hit. And the last question I get is, what do I use to store my sneakers? So I mentioned I have like 150 sneakers in my collection, which again is absurd. So I do have a few different storage solutions. One over there are those super cheap alternatives to the Container Store drop front plastic shoe containers. I've made a video on that set, and I've had them for like over a year now. I mean, I think for what they are, they're good. At least at that point in time when I bought those, I was more concerned about just getting my boxless sneakers in boxes. Hindsight's always 2020. I would have forked over the money for the Container Store stuff just because the quality on those things isn't that good. But you could check out that video to sort of judge for yourself. Beyond that, I have a few industrial racks from Amazon. I'll have those linked in the description. And a sidebar, if you buy using those links, I get some sort of kickback. So if you support me and support the channel and want to buy those things, like, definitely buy using those links, and it really does help me out, so I appreciate that. I haven't made a video on them, but maybe I might just to showcase them, but for now you could see them via the Amazon links. And then obviously, like every other sneaker person, I just stack a bunch of boxes. That's sort of the old school traditional way, but you don't want to stack too many boxes on top of each other or else they'll start to disintegrate, break. So that's why I have those racks. If you have any more questions about it, I'm happy to answer them in the comments. But that does it for the Q&A. If you have any more questions, hit me up on Instagram, again, @StuffDylanLikes. And you could also drop a comment if you have a question, or even if you don't have a question, just let me know what you thought of the video, what you think of the channel. Again, super thankful for 4,000 subscribers. It's only up from here. Definitely subscribe and stick around for more content. I'll leave it at that. Thanks everyone for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.